Hi, it's me again. Yesterday I proposed a talk called Let's Talk Dependencies. This is much too big of a talk, so I'm going to just cut out a very small piece of this out of this talk, and so there will be a couple of things I don't talk about. So first of all, I'm not going to talk about the tooling aspect because I wanted to talk a little bit about how dependency tooling has evolved during the last years, and obviously DevFu, which is my company, does a little bit of help there. Also, I have stickers if you're interested in that, or if you want to know what DevFu does, hit me up afterwards. I don't want to talk about the event stream happening. Who in here remembers the event stream thing happening? Okay, so I think the whole thing, so this was a node, an NPM module that had code specifically targeted at stealing some kind of Bitcoin, I'm not a Bitcoin expert, Bitcoin thingy from a very specific ledger or something like that, which was introduced into the module by adding an extra dependency after handing over the NPM module to someone else who was actually had malicious intent. And I think this opens up a lot of interesting questions about policing and also maintainership and everything. Don't want to talk about that. I also don't want to talk about the accessibility of the NPM ecosystem, which is a hellscape, I think, personally. And I think we need to talk about it more, but not today. So let's talk about NPM Inc. So NPM basically right now is the internet, right? So we all use NPM for our dependencies. We use it for stuff that runs in the front end. We use it for stuff that runs in the back end. And just imagine for a second that NPM as it is right now goes away. Like, can you go to work the next day? Will that work? Will you have work? Will that all be possible to somehow? I don't know. It sounds scary to me, to be honest. So I think we need to assume that NPM can go away and will break at some point in the future. Why is that? Well, NPM Inc. is a VC-funded company. This in itself is not the most, it's not the biggest problem, but it means that the company runs under certain constraints we all know about. Like there's going to be a buyout at some point, probably to whom? Oracle maybe? Do you think that's a good idea? Google, is that a great idea? Facebook, who knows? This I think is something that we need to be aware of. Also, VC-funded startups, if they are not bought out, they can get into financial trouble just because investors say, hey, this is not working out. What do we do then? Like, who's going to run the infrastructure there? Who has read anything about NPM layoffs? Okay, a couple of more hands. Actually, the number of people let go wasn't that big. I think it was like 5. NPM claims it was 5 people. I have no idea. My source of information about all of these things is mostly SiegeBot on Twitter. CJ Silverio used to be the CTO of NPM Inc. She was let go somewhere in the end of last year under circumstances that I don't want to comment on because I don't know much about it. But let's say it probably wasn't very friendly. And she's been trying to kind of talk a little bit about what's going on there. And it's a very interesting account to follow if you want to know what's going on there. So let's read between the lines of all the things that happened. So the layoffs were a little bit weird. There were like people let go like a couple of days before their vesting, the vesting of their how do you say that? Their shares, right? Stuff like that, where it's like, this sounds really shitty, and lots of stuff like gag orders on top of a severance payment and stuff like that. So really, really shady things. And to me, like reading between the lines, this means that investors are quite unhappy right now. This is just my personal feeling. I have no insider information here, but this is how this feels. Like installed a new CEO at somewhere around summer last year, who's now finally been officially integrated. Yeah. Okay. Right. We need a plan B. Take a look at this.
That was serious.
Yeah.
I can pull the cable.
That's all I wanted to say. I think we need to talk about it.